If you shoot videos and you want to turn this into your full-time gig, or maybe it's already your full-time gig, obviously you need a body of work to show for. This is how clients are going to hire you. This is how you're going to prove the work that you have. Now, instead of sending clients like 5 to 6 different video links when they ask for your work, it's a lot better to have everything compiled into a single video called a demo reel that's going to be flashy, straight to the point, and really show off the skills that you have as a filmmaker. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the importance of it, how I made my newest reel, and kind of give you some tips and tricks on making your first reel so that way you can get more work as a filmmaker. Never made a reel and you don't know what this is, a reel is basically like a 45-second to 2-minute video showcasing the best of your work. Now, I'm sure if you don't have a demo reel, what you're doing is sending a potential client 4 to 5 different video links of stuff that you've done. And this is fine, but nobody wants to go through and click a bunch of videos. I would rather, if I'm trying to hire you, I want to see one video that shows the best of the best. I want to see a video that is selling me on what you can do. So for me, I've been creating demo reels since 2011, ever since I very first started shooting videos. They were terrible. They included videos that I had done at home, and it looked bad. This is it right here. So that was my first reel. It's actually a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. That was my first time watching it in a long time. And I mean, some of the clips in there, I'm just like, why would I put that in a video reel? I'm literally recording a computer screen of me live streaming on Stickcam, and I put that in my video reel. So, Jesus. Now, as I made more and more reels with time, obviously they got better. You know, I would get a bigger gig here, I would add that into the reel, I would take out some of the shots that I wasn't really proud of anymore, and then it just kind of snowballs into a reel that eventually you'll be proud of. And this takes a lot of time. Obviously, I've been making these reels since 2011, almost every year since then. Now we're in 2019, I just made my new reel with a bunch of work that I'm pretty proud of. I had a lot of opportunities within this reel that I worked hard for. This was really, whenever I pulled all these clips together and made it, I was really proud to look back on this and think of how far I've come from the very first reel that I made just shooting videos at home. So now that you kind of have an understanding of what a reel is, I'm gonna show you kind of a step-by-step tips and tricks guide of what I did to create my last reel. So the first thing that I did is created a Google Doc that I can log down all of the videos that I wanted to include in this reel. So that way I didn't miss anything when I was editing. So I started by going year by year. I usually go like 3 years back and write down my favorite projects that I want to have in this new reel. So as you can see on here, I have it labeled so that I have my working projects, which means I have all of the original project files, all of the original clips, and then I have 1080 exports, 4K exports, or just kind of rendered clips already that I'm just gonna throw in. After I had all of the videos I wanted to use written down, it was time to do some hard drive searching. Now, this is one of the most time-consuming things to do if you've been shooting videos for years and you have to source those old projects that are 3 or 4 years old. And luckily, since 2015, I've really made it a point to keep all of my projects very organized so that I can send them anywhere I want and just open the file there without it having to relink or having missing files. So I'll probably make another video on how I structure my hard drives so that you can keep your project files kind of future-proof in a sense. So as I went through all these hard drives, I went through all the videos that I knew I only had the final exports of. I knew I wasn't going to have all the project files in there. So I grabbed all of the final exports first, copied them onto a drive, which would be my master drive that I would be editing the reel off of. And then I went through and looked for all of the videos that I had the project files and the master files for. Now, a lot of these projects were shot on Red, so I had a lot of huge project file sizes. I didn't want to copy all of the footage, all of the unused footage onto my master hard drive just because it would take too long, it would fill up really fast, and I just didn't need those. So what I did was I opened up these projects, made sure everything was good, everything was relinked in there, and then I used Project Manager to copy everything onto my master drive without bringing all of the excess fat that I didn't really need. Now that I had all of my video and projects in one hard drive, it was time to find a song so that I could start cutting everything together. Once I found my track, it was finally time to build the project. I started with importing all of my projects. I labeled everything by year. I tried to keep things as organized as possible just because I knew as the edit got further along, the project was just going to turn into mayhem. So I always try to keep everything as organized as possible as I go. Once I had my project set up, it was time to go through each video and chop up some selects that I wanted to add in the video. So I went video by video, pulled out the best of that work, and started laying it out on my master timeline. I also labeled these by color so it was easier to go back and know which video I was pulling from. So I did this until I had the basic structure of the video lined up, and I had some empty spaces in there that I needed to fill, but I didn't have enough clips for that. So that's when I went back into my projects, tried to find other pieces that might fit well in there, or even other projects that I hadn't used yet, I would add in there. Another thing to take into consideration, if you don't have all the clips that you need for your reel, you can literally go out and just shoot stuff for the reel. You don't have to only add big client work that you've done in the past. It can be just cool, creative shots that you go out and do for the specific reason of showing them off in your reel. Even in my reel, I have a couple shots from Yosemite that I went out and shot with my buddies, and I just added those in because they kind of fit with the vibe that I was going for. So that's something, especially for younger filmmakers who don't have as much client work to show, just go out, shoot the best of the best that you can, and add that in there. I wanted to upload this reel in 4K, but I did have a couple clips that were only shot in 1080, whether they were original clips or just the final exports that I had for the videos. After Effects gives you the ability to upscale to 4K in a really awesome way that instead of just punching in, it recreates, I don't know how it even works. To upscale your clips, make sure that you duplicate all of your clips that you're going to upscale on your timeline just so you have a safety in case you need to revert back to the original. Scale it down to 100 and then right click on the clip, replace with After Effects Composition, and that's going to bring up an After Effects project. Now you're going to go to your Effects tab and type in Detail Preserving Upscale and drag that onto your clip. Hit Fit to Comp Width, that's going to bring your clip up. And then what I usually like to do is reduce noise by like 15%, just helps a little bit. And then change the alpha to detail preserving. Now once you go back to your Premiere project, you should have a 4K upscaled clip. It'll pop up like that, and then basically just go through the rest of your clips on your timeline and upscale them from there, and they'll all be within that single After Effects project. Once I had everything laid out how I liked, it was time to go through and recolor everything. Now this is where having all of my original project files comes in handy, because I'm able to strip all of the colors from that and recolor it from scratch. Since I shoot a lot of my projects on Red, I'm able to take these clips and completely strip them and edit the raw, full quality clip. I can take a 4-year-old clip and take all the color out of it, throw it back into log or however I'm coloring it, and have the full quality clip to color. This is great because every time I've thrown a clip into my reel, I've always wanted to recolor it. I want to spice it up. I want to change it up and see what else I can do with it. So this is the biggest benefit to having your original project files. Even if you're not shooting on a camera that shoots RAW, you still have the original clip that you can edit. You're not recoloring over an already rendered clip. And this is huge whenever you want to reuse these clips year after year. Now I did have some clips that were just the final export, so I wasn't able to color the raw clips that I had before, but still you're able to kind of rework them and kind of polish them up so that they flow with the video. And just like that, a week and a half later, my new reel was finally finished. Again, I hadn't put out a reel since the beginning of 2017. I cut it in 2016. So since then, I've had some really crazy opportunities that I never thought would happen, and I wanted to make sure I showcased those in this video. And watching it back, I was able to kind of reflect on the past few years, and it really got me excited for what would possibly come in the future and what kind of jobs I might be able to get with this reel. So obviously there is a time and a place where sending full video links is going to have its benefits. When a client asks you for a specific style of work that you've done, then yeah, of course, send them those examples, but it's not a bad idea to have multiple reels. So for this main reel, this is kind of the main type of work that I do. These are the commercials, music videos, music events, all of that stuff wrapped into one video. But I also shoot weddings on the side here and there. And so I created a totally separate reel just with weddings that now I can send that to clients when they ask me for wedding video examples. So if you have corporate jobs or different types of work that you want to showcase, but you don't want it to be in your main reel, just cut different reels for that. That way you have kind of a library of different reels that you can send off, and you still have the flashy work that you can send them. It's condensed, it's ready to go, and that gives you a better chance at getting hired for the job. Now, another thing to take into consideration is your reel's gonna get easier to edit over time. So if you're cutting your first reel and you don't have as much work as you'd like, Don't feel discouraged. Just cut together 30 seconds of what you have and just use the best of the best, and then go out and shoot stuff as time goes and kind of piece it together and let it snowball into a larger reel. That's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this helps you a little bit to kind of get you kickstarted on getting your next reel out there. Send it out to those clients, get all those jobs, and let's turn this into a full-time gig, because I mean, this is the dream. We all want to shoot videos for a living, and you just have to keep your brand and all of the work that you do highlighted in the best way possible. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit me up on Instagram at Jordan Pulmano, and I will see you guys in the next video.